This week we answer the really big questions. Is Honda's hybrid HRV better than the petrol one? I must admit, apart from the blue badge, this is pretty much the same as the other car. It's got the same slightly awkward looks, which you either like or don't. But this pearlescent colour is stunning, stunning, and it depends on what light you see it in as to how stunning it is. It's got walk-away locking, it's got the same LED headlights, but different daytime running lights. And it's also got a neat kick to open function. And anyone that's used kick to open knows how difficult that can be. There's no spare in the back, and we'll talk about the back seats in a minute. You press the walk away to lock button, and I don't know why you have to press that, and then you walk away. And it locks all by itself. Locks the gate and locks the doors. Getting in the back is pretty easy. The doors open nice and wide. There's a decent amount of headroom. You don't have to lean under this too much. But have a look at this quite neat LED light over the back seat. That's great for reading. The upholstery is all plastic. And there's tons and tons of knee room. There's vents and USBs in the back, something you don't find in the internal combustion engine model. Excuse the scary hair. I need a haircut. And it's windy. Now there's a couple of things in the front too to differentiate this between the non-hybrid model and the hybrid model. I can have a little graphic up here on my part electronic digital dash. I've got 2 zones of air conditioning, but still no wireless charger. I think a wireless charger in a car these days is pretty much standard. Not in this. There's a 12-volt charger in front though, and a couple of USB outlets. Not USB-C, thankfully. There's also a B function in the eCVT. Now, you may be wondering whether or not the E of eCVT makes any difference to the drive. Does a bit. Is it substantial enough to make me fall in love with it? No, not by a long shot. I'll never love a CVT, never. But it is substantially better than the really awful one that I gave such a bollocking to a few weeks ago. Now we filmed in different colours, and I think this colour comes out looking best. Still don't like the grille. I still think that needs to be a different colour. A couple of the commenters have said they actually quite like the fact that it wasn't black or chrome. Disagree with you. It's got drive modes too. This week we've done some specific tests. I'm just going to pop it into. Now you can hear that the CVT is stepping, so it sounds like a normal automatic transmission. It's also got paddle shifters as well. Put that back into normal. And this week we've tried to run several tests just to see how it fares. Namely the 4.3 litre per 100 kilometre economy claim, which I find difficult to believe. So let's just have a little sticky beak. I'll go and have a look at range and fuel. And I find myself at 5 litres per 100 kilometres. And this week we've only been around town with a little freeway work like this to get from one city suburb to another. Does the hybrid part make this car worthwhile? Well, we're in hybrid mode all the time, of course, and unlike Honda's previous hybrids, this one will run in EV only, which it's doing now. So it'll run as a series hybrid or a parallel hybrid. It'll charge the battery or drive the wheels. Just putting in here while I'm waiting for my coffee. Save places, rightio. But what I've done is with my wireless CarPlay, I've got it now set to take me to where I want to go. The car's also got built-in navigation, but I kind of find this easier to use. Why? Because it's the same in every single car. The sensors, of course, don't give you a 360-degree view, or the cameras don't give you a 360-degree view, which is a bit of a shame. I mean, you might say, what do you expect in an entry-level car? And I would say, well, this isn't an entry-level price, so I expect a 360-degree view camera. Simple as that. It does have the walk-away locking, but that's in no way compensatory. And the one thing that differs hugely between this and other brands is that this only comes in a two-wheel drive model. Toyota, Nissan and so forth, the ones that have hybrids, regardless of price, they mostly offer an all-wheel drive version as well, which I find particularly interesting. Now, I don't know whether it's just my imagination or not, but this seems a little bit less tacky-placky than the petrol-only model was. It's still hard up here, but the soft touch top of the doors and this pad on the dash, that does seem softer than what it was in the internal combustion engine model. They're both 1.5s, and this has got 96 kilowatts, which with or without a CVT of any kind is still not going to set the world on fire. The fuel tanks in this are tiny, 40 litres. So I've done with my normal chores. So I've done an airport run, a couple of bits of shopping, what else? Taken a few friends out, gone to friends' places for lunch, and I've still only used about a third of a tank. And I think that answers one of my questions. Is this worth more? Well, yes, you not only get that electrified drivetrain, but you also get a few extra things like blind spot monitor and so forth. Those things should be in the other model. One of the other important issues for you audiophiles out there is this does have an extra couple of speakers. Man next to me has got his radio up. And those extra couple of speakers seem to have made all the difference in the sound quality in this. I was really, really disappointed in the internal combustion engine HRV. It just wasn't up to snuff. And there are a couple of people wrote in saying that I really panned it, and I panned it unnecessarily. Well, I panned it because it got the review it deserved. I thought it was awful for the money. The hybrid version, as expensive as it is, it's not good value if you look at it in relation to the opposition. So what some of the other brands, Toyota for example, and Nissan, even Volkswagen supply. For the same money, you do seem to get much more. And although this does look like a quality build on the outside, the inside still does feel a little bit low rent, despite the fact that this seems to have more soft touch surfacing. Now the Civic that we had, I liked that very much. I thought that was a beautiful car, but Honda have abandoned all its entry-level cars, all of them. And now they're only selling on that agency model, which means Honda owns all the cars, and the dealer is really just a delivery and service center now. So here are the things that I like. The wireless Apple CarPlay, the frugality of the engine and motor combination. The seats are heated, and there's dual zone air conditioning. But I think the biggest problem for me for this car is going to be the fact that it's not sold in America, even though it looks very much like an American car. And because this is the only market with these particular requirements for the ISOFIX positions, it wasn't thought sufficiently important to engineer this car to have a middle seat position in the back. So this is a four-seater. So when you compare this against almost every other car in the class, I can't think of another one that's a four-seater, that kind of is a nail in the coffin. Although Honda specifically said to me when this first came out that they haven't been told that the four-seater was a holdback to anyone buying this car. And I said to them, do you suppose that's because you're not selling very many of this car? They didn't answer. That's all this week for the Honda HRV Hybrid. Hit like, leave a comment, and just over there to subscribe.